Chapter 17 of Two Blue Vortex has been released. I apologize for the late upload as I was having trouble with my computer. We have Yodo and Araya on the cover page, the title being Wild Beast Cubs. Before we begin, I would like to apologize for a certain spoiler that was thought to be real but was fake, the spoiler being of Demon wanting to fight Jura. Unfortunately, it was revealed to be a fake spoiler hours after the spoiler video was posted, so I apologize for that. Anyways, let's get started. In the first page, we see Sarada thinking about her and Sumire arguing about Boruto. Mitsuki notices that Sarada seems off. We then see Matsuri and Ryu talking. Matsuri says that according to the trees, Boruto placed the toad there himself, which means he was definitely there. Ryu asks what trees said this as they are in a desert, then Matsuri replies with saying that they are everywhere, even deep below the ground. Yodo uses her ninjutsu to listen in to their conversation. Matsuri says that by using the trees' voices to track Boruto, they will be sure to run into him or his accomplices instead. Yodo then tells Konohamaru the situation, telling him that Matsuri has a sensory-type ability, and they don't have long before she notices them. Konohamaru asks the other if they are ready to pursue the Shinju, but he then notices Sarada spacing out and asks if she is all right. She then rubs it off and says she will focus. Yodo then asks if the thorn bulb that would appear if Ryu gets taken down is what would bring Shinki back. Konohamaru says that it is the apparent information, if their intel is correct. Araya then begs Yodo not to do anything reckless, but Yodo gets mad at Araya, then Konohamaru tells both of them to stop. This page shows us how other characters are affected by loved ones turning into Shinju. With more Shinju definitely being introduced later down the line, we will see a lot of people having the same troubles Sarada, Konohamaru, Yodo, and Araya are going through. In the next page, we see Team 7 approaching the Shinju. Konohamaru asks who they are. Matsuri notices Konohamaru. Konohamaru then says that they are Leaf Shinobi, who have been following Boruto's trail, and then asks what they are doing. Ryu thinks that they don't know who they are and asks Matsuri for a plan until he turns around and sees Matsuri blushing. Matsuri tells Ryu to talk. Konohamaru then gets flashbacks about him talking to Shikamaru before going on the mission. Shikamaru explains that the mission they are on is to collect the thorn bulbs of both Matsuri and Ryu. Shikamaru explains what the thorn bulb is and explains what it can do. He also explains to Konohamaru what would happen if they don't get the thorn bulbs, which is that the Shinju would keep resurrecting, just like what happened to Hidari. Konohamaru asks how Shikamaru got this intel, as Boruto never said this during his interrogation. We then see Koji's frog appear from Shikamaru's shoulder within his cloak. Shikamaru then says that he has a strategy for this mission to go well. Shikamaru then explains to him what the Shinju are and what their goal is, then says how there is no evidence that they are evil. Shikamaru then compares them to wild beast cubs, hence the title of the chapter. Shikamaru then tells him to befriend the two Shinju, and when the time is right, they would need to betray them. Shikamaru then says how Naruto wouldn't take this route, but then he says how he isn't Naruto, and that he proposes this tactic in order to save humanity. We then go back to the present. Konohamaru introduces himself and Team 7. Ryu then introduces himself, then asks Matsuri if she is all right. Konohamaru then asks if it's all right if they join forces, since they both share the goal to search for Boruto. The Shinju agree to this. Mitsuki then finds a piece of metal and says how it can be a part of Boruto's arsenal. Konohamaru tells Sarada and Mitsuki to go somewhere else to search for clues. Sarada asks Ryu to join them. Ryu was hesitant and tried to ask Matsuki if it is okay, but Konohamaru cuts him off and tells him not to worry. Ryu, Sarada, and Mitsuki then go to another location. Ryu tells them how they seem to be nice people. Apparently, Jura told him that he has respect for them and says how Jura is his boss. He then adds how he was intending to slaughter any ninja who he ran into, so he was glad they spoke first. We then go back to Konohamaru's flashback with Shikamaru. Shikamaru tells Konohamaru that the reason why he is Matsuri's target is because Moegi has romantic feelings for him, and that even though Matsuri isn't aware of this, she is still Moegi's clone, so she would feel the same emotion Moegi would towards Konohamaru. Back to the present, Konohamaru asks Matsuri if she wants to sit down and talk. They then talk about Matsuri isn't acting herself, and Konohamaru thinks it isn't weird. In the next page, we see Koji talking to Ada. Koji asks Ida to see what's happening in the sand, but Ada is afraid that Mamushi will spot her. But Koji then tells her that Mamushi is still in their base, so there is no need to worry. We then see Boruto and Koji in their hideout. Koji tells Boruto that the plan is going well so far. Boruto asks what happens next. Koji tells him that Konohamaru is keeping Matsuri occupied. Ideally, the others take down Ryu first, then team up with Konohamaru to take down Matsuri. Boruto then asks the percentage of them failing, Koji saying it isn't that high. Boruto tells him not to lie, but Koji just tells him not to go. Then he says that just like Himawari leaving Konoha, if Boruto were to take part in this battle, Jura would make a move, and if that happens, Boruto will die. Then he says that Boruto is the one thing he cannot lose. From these 2 pages, I think Boruto doesn't fully trust Koji. Since Koji can see through all possible futures, it is possible that Koji is using Boruto to a point where that when the time comes for Boruto not being needed, he would get taken down. In the next page, we see Jura in a bookstore. A sensory-type shinobi alerts Shikamaru that Jura is in the village, but Shikamaru told him to leave him alone and act like he is a normal citizen. We then see Jura go up to the bookkeeper and pay for the books with actual money. In the last 2 pages, we see Amato looking into his screen. As he was about to light a cigarette, Kawaki takes it out of his mouth, and the moment Amato looks back, Kawaki uses his mutated arm to slam him against the wall. Kawaki says he has tons of things he wants to tell him, but first, he wants Amato to draw out all of his powers to their fullest extent. This chapter was pretty good. Next chapter, we might see the battle of the Shinju versus Team 7, and potentially even Kawaki's limiter being removed. We might also see Koji betraying Boruto, as they don't seem to be fully honest with each other. What do you guys think? Make sure to like and subscribe with post notifications on so you wouldn't miss another video. Leave a comment down below to let me know your thoughts and theories. Anyways, that's it from me. See you guys next time.